I want to quickly talk about some research areas. And you'll see as I talk about these that these are areas that there's great work going on all over the world. Some of them are ones that Microsoft has a research group with about 120 people nowadays that works on some of these. And they're all predicated on computing cost, communications cost declining, so that we can almost think of them as free over time. And one of the things I think that's wonderful about software is, unlike a lot of companies where research tends to get very decoupled from the mainline company and almost be partitioned off as though it wasn't part of the same company. In the software world, the ability to take great research ideas and when they work out, being able to put them in products and take advantage of them is quite incredible. And we've already, even though when we started the research group, we didn't expect that, we're only 3 years into it, and we're already seeing things like our word processor ship with work that the natural language group has done. I want to do a little demo of a fun thing we put together. This is just one person in research, Dave Kurlander, who was thinking about computer dialogues and how boring chat is and what he could do about that. So he was thinking, well, maybe this 3D stuff is great, but there's no record, and it's hard for lots of people to watch into that. And so he actually came up with a fun idea that we call comic chat, and it draws on a very rich art form. So I'm going to ask Craig Bielenson to come up, and he's actually going to connect up and hopefully show us comic chat with some people across the nation on the West Coast.
Great. Thanks, Bill. You mentioned a few things earlier, things like Internet Explorer 3.0, which yesterday went to Beta 1. You can get that on, I heard you, on www.microsoft.com. You can check that out today. Microsoft is very excited about that release. Bill mentioned the ActiveX technologies that's included in Internet Explorer. You'll see things like support for Java, support for scripting languages like JavaScript and VBScript, support for frames, animated GIFs, all that good stuff that you like in HTML. Or that you don't like so much in HTML. One of the things that I'm going to show you is an application called Comic Chat, which is actually what we call an active document. So this document, when you click on it, could come up in place of whatever container object you happen to be working in, something like a Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, or a particular web browser like Internet Explorer 3.0. I'm just going to... I keep hearing this hissing noise. I'm just going to introduce us to Comic Chat. I have a character here named Armando, and that's Bill G. Your name is right there. I've always wanted to do this and pretend I was Bill G. up on the internet.
A lot of people do that.
I've heard that. What we have here is kind of a more fun version of a chat room with a record or a history of things that go on in that chat room. We can see all the people that are in the room. Here's myself as Bill G. There's a Mark M.E. and Tab Scott. In fact, I want to get these people's attention, so I'm going to go ring Mark. And he just saw a little dialog box on his computer, and hopefully we've got his attention now. And I can, now that I've selected Mark, I can say something like, hi, and you see my character waves. How are you? And it also points to you. Can everybody see this? Okay, why don't we make it a little bigger? Okay, hi, how are you? You notice that as I typed something like hi, it started to wave, but then it said how are you, so it pointed to the person that I selected. We can scroll down a little bit. Someone doesn't believe that I'm Bill Gates. Right, I'm Bill Gates, and I'm really Ross Perot. Can we talk? Someone asked me how I am, and I'm being rung back by Mark, whoever that is. So he wanted to get my attention as well. So we can scroll down. Are you? Never mind. Elvis was here a while ago. This must be a very popular chat room. Say, I'm glad to be here. This is cool. And you notice that he's pointing to himself as I say that. What are you up to, Bill? Pleased to meet you. All kinds of chat things going on. I'm glad to be here. This is cool, pointing at himself. So, is it still raining in your neck of the woods? I can say things like, cheer up. The sun is coming out. And when I do that, I can put the typical colon and parentheses, the little smiley face, and of course, when Comic Chat sees that, it makes my character smile. We just have to catch up to it. There we go. We're smiling while we put the little smiley face in our bubble there. I could say something like laughing doesn't hurt either, and I can do the acronym of laugh out loud. So put that in there, and my character is laughing hysterically, as you can see, just by using the laugh out loud piece. There's all kinds of emotions that you can draw out, though, which aren't automatic. If I want to say, hang on, let's show some emotions and send that across. I'm going to actually just make this a little bigger so you can see my character over here. And I can, you notice that we have this wheel on the bottom right. It's kind of like a color wheel in that you can bring out ranges of emotions. So someone can be kind of happy or very angry. So as I move around, it's very easy to bring out different impressions. Looks like he's doing a little dance, doesn't it? Not only can you talk to these characters, you can do things like normal things you'd find in a comic book, actually, why we're calling it Comic Chat. So Bill likes to take risks every once in a while, so we can say runs with scissors. And instead of saying that, I could think it, or I can even make it an action. And what happens there is it actually puts it at the top of the screen, much like you would see in a comic book. So there would be this narrative going by in the chat room as well as I'm describing things. I can highlight everyone, so I can say something to everyone. And all the people show up in the room, so we can see everybody. It's easy to right-click on someone, and I can ring them again. I can get information about them with their profile, and that should show up at the bottom. Hey, Bill, what's up? This man was raised by armadillos at a roadside park in Texas. He knows lots of armadillo songs. Want to hear one? We'll skip that. Other things that you can take advantage of, besides the emotions being the fact that you can save any of these, you can print these out and it looks like a comic book. This will work with any normal IRC server, so I can go up to the internet and the people who don't have this client, I'll actually see them as characters. And if they type something like the smiley face, their character will be smiling. And people who don't have this client will see my text completely normally, so it'll work with anyone else who's using something like this. Just to shock them a little bit, we do have the option of changing our character. So let's spruce Bill's character up a little bit. Anybody have any choices? Anna, perhaps? I'm not exactly sure what Connor is. We'll have to look into that. Some aliens out there, and again, you can experiment with their different emotions in the different settings. So something a little fun, something that came out of the research group. Again, you'll see that shortly, both for the web and for MSN. That's Comic Chat. Thank you.
I think it illustrates there's a lot of room for creativity in terms of how we're going to do collaboration.